Welcome back, everybody. The History Guy here. Well, it's been a while, but I'm ready to get back to this series playing as the custom nation of Ohio, which is a Native American nation in Europa Universalis 4. I'm using a couple of mods here. One's called Extended Timeline, which is why it's only the year 114 at the moment. And the other mod I'm using is called Fast Universalis, which allows the game to sim a little quicker. So just a couple of things to pick up on since the last time I played. This is now episode 3. One of the things that was discussed in my previous episode and some of you commented on was I talked about my inability to improve my development level in my territories and how that was really going to hold me back moving forward. Well, I figured out how you go about changing that, but it requires some downloadable content that I didn't previously have. It's called Common Sense. It was $15 in the Steam store, so I went ahead and purchased that, installed it, and this opens up a whole new world to me because now, first of all, back up. Because of the Extended Timeline mod, it's years and years and years in between technological advances. And so because of that, you max out on all your monarch powers, your administrative, diplomatic, and military power. All three of them are maxed out for me right now at 1118, which means I'm not generating anything new. I can't. So that's going to waste. So those are the powers, then, the points that I can spend to improve things with this new downloadable content. So as you can see in each one of my territories, and I have 6 of them, you have the option to improve use administrative power to improve the base tax, use diplomatic power to improve base production, and use military power to improve base manpower. And each one of those, when increased, will increase the development level, which kind of overall gives you a boost to things. So that gives me somewhere to put those points instead of just losing them. So that's kind of a big deal. The other thing I want to do is I want to start conquering some territory so that I can link the two halves of my nation. And in order to do that, what I need to do is I need to, first of all, build a spy network. Huron's my big rival right now, so that's who I'm going to go after first. So I'm going to build a spy network there. Once that spy network gets up over 20, I think it is, let's see, yeah, then I can fabricate a claim on that territory. Once I've fabricated the claim, I can use a conquest justification for war that will allow me to resolve that conflict by annexing that territory. So that's kind of my goal moving forward. So first things first, though, let's start developing some of these territories. And I'm going to start over here, and I'll tell you why. Just kind of taking a look at my overall kind of where things stand. You can see that Shawnee is my primary culture, but it only makes up 19% of my total population. 48% of my state cores is Delaware, but that is not an accepted culture. So I want to make that an accepted culture, but in order to do that, I have to have at least 20 development in the states that have that culture. And that's these two right here. So I just need to put at least 5 development points into those, and then I'll be able to do that. So we're going to start with military power. We'll do some administrative power as well. We're going to spend all of these down, so we're not wasting any of them. And it should get me now to the point where I'm able to, yep, now you can see 56% because I've kind of improved that. And so that's kind of my most powerful area right now. We're going to promote that culture. It's now an accepted culture. We can also make it the primary culture, and it makes sense to do that because it's 56% of my power right now. My power base is in that area. So we're going to make Delaware my primary culture. Shawnee's still accepted. Eventually we want to also make Susquehannock accepted, but it's going to be a while before I can do that because there's only 7. And as you can see, there's only, I think, 1 or 2 territories that have that. Okay, right here, Northeast Ohio. It's the only one. So, happens to be the one where I live, but hey, nothing I can do about that. So, we'll go ahead and start simming through. We'll keep one eye on these powers and make sure they don't max out. I'll have to spend them accordingly. Just a reminder for those of you who may not have seen the previous 2 episodes, I am a republic, which gives a lot of benefits, but also means you have elections every so often. I can keep the person I have, and that person will gain 1 each in administrative, diplomatic, and military. But it also means that I lose 10 Republican tradition, which means I drift toward monarchy. I don't want to have that happen. But right now I'm gaining 1 per year, so I can probably go one more round with this person before I need to change. Just make sure that Republican tradition doesn't drift too far down. It'll start inching back up slowly here. So once I'm able to get my spy network over 20, and it looks like that'll probably take a year or two, then I'll be able to fabricate a claim. Once I fabricate the claim, I can go to war. So I'm going to start dropping out when nothing's going on, like I do with my Hearts of Iron series. As events unfold, I'll drop back in and I'll let you kind of update what the date is as need be. All right, so a nice little thing happened here. Academic institutions are not immune to corruption, and the profits that can be made by abusing positions of great influence can stand in the way of creating a good environment for research. However, Ohioan scientists are largely above this, focusing on genuine intellectual achievements above titles and financial contributions. The lack of corruption in society allows us to explore and invent without being impeded by selfish interests. So you get a nice little boost there, so that's kind of a nice thing to have happen. So we're into February 115. I'm going to start improving my relations with the Iroquois. You can see they're kind of a large power there. It's definitely somebody I want to have on my side as opposed to being opposed to me. And it's not somebody I'm going to go to war with anytime soon. So, plus, if I get in the event where I need to try and quickly get up to maybe the Sioux, for example, who are up here in northern New York, I might be able to get access rather than having to go all the way around to do that. So certainly helps to have friends. So I'm looking at the points here, and they're starting to tick up again. So let's start looking at where we can... Yeah, 111. Let's try and improve that a little bit. I think we'll go another point here and another point in military as well. All right, Huron is no longer a valid rival. Well, we need to have that. So let's kind of re-up our rivalry with them. No possible rivals. Interesting. Why are they not a possible rival? We're going to go ahead and fabricate a claim. All right, so we are now at the place where we can go ahead and go to war with them if we so choose. Now, who are they allied with? They're allied with this nation that's up here, which means I'm probably going to have to take them out as well in order to be able to annex. So what we want to do here is I think we're going to need to build up my military a little bit before I go fighting a war with them that may not go so well for me. And I still got a positive balance, so I can increase the size of my military a little bit without suffering too badly for it. So clubmen are the only thing I can build at the moment, so we're going to build 4 more of those. That should give me a decent sized force. So once those are done, I'll march in, I'll defeat his army there, and then I'll have to probably split my force so I have a second army to go up and take out his ally. Alright, there they are. Let's get them all over here. We're going to need a general. So let's go ahead and recruit a general. Let's get him in there. Let's merge all of this together into one army, and let's declare war. Now, we're going to call our allies the Powhatan. I really don't want to call his. So I don't want to go to war with him unless he calls them, which he may very well do. Alright, so he marched his army out of there instantly. He's going to probably come around, and he's going to go after my territory over here. And it looks like he's going to take that pretty fast because I don't have any kind of a fortification there. So what I need to do now is I need to split my force. So we'll leave 5,000 behind to lay siege. And we're going to take the other 9,000 here and go deal with his army. First we're going to run into natives in the no man's land, which is going to really mess me up if he decides to hit me now. Alright, what's going on here? It's become apparent that an elected member of our government is aligning and aiding the opposition during the war. That's awesome. We would expose and execute him for treason, but he is widely supported within the community and could cause instability. Execute him. No tolerance for that. But then let's immediately go and boost our stability back up, which is one of the nice things about having the extra power that I have right now. Alright, I can't move yet because my army's kind of weakened after that little foray I had with that army. Alright, now he's sending his army back over, of course. Oh, come on. I keep running into these natives, and these guys are going to beat me. They did. Okay. Alright, good. Well, the Powhatan were there. They went and freed up my territory for me. So thank you for that, guys. But now I've got to go deal with his ally up here in the north in order to be able to finish this thing. So here's what we'll do. Because I've got an allied army down here, I think I might be safe to go ahead and take my whole force up to deal with his buddies in the north. But I'm probably going to run into some more natives in the process. Alright, we're going to have to march all the way around. Holy cow. Where? No, that's not going to work. Can't I go this other way? I guess not. Well, that's kind of a nightmare. I wonder if... they're not going to give me... I am going to improve relations with the Sioux, though. Because maybe next time I won't have this problem. Oh, it looks like my buddies are going to join me, which really isn't preferable. Jeez, what a nightmare. We'll go ahead and recall that diplomat. Alright, we're all the way up in the wilderness of northern Canada at the moment. But we're slowly but surely making our way through attrition. And we'll very soon be in a position to conquer this other force. And finally be able to conquer the Huron. Alright, we're going to go ahead and change now. We're going to go switch to a bureaucrat candidate for now. And here we come. What's going on here? Am I not at war with these guys? Or did he move? What happened? Ah, boy. So after all that, it turns out that that's not even my issue at the moment. Well, it is, though, because they're in the war. Alright, where's my army? And why are they not laying siege to him? Oh, because I didn't declare war on them. No, I'm at war with them. Alright, I'm talking to myself, but I don't quite understand why. Why it is that this is not allowing me to lay siege to him. Because I think that's what's keeping me from being able to annex him. Well, it looks like now I'm able to kind of march back down through this area, which is kind of weird that I wouldn't have been able to do that before, but here we go. Maybe if we win a couple more battles, that'll do the trick. See, that only gets me to 55%. My ticking war score is 9.6. You can gain 15 more war score by achieving the war goal of take... Yeah, I did that. Yeah, it's not going to let me annex them. So I guess we just got to sit here and hold it for a while, which kind of stinks, but that's the way it is. So I'll come back when something allows me to change that. So I've gone ahead and chosen the military candidate this time. And so what's happening here is I've got to wait until the positive outweighs the negative for him in order to get him to accept my annexation. And we're getting close. We're at 109 for positive, 116 for negative. It's currently ticking in the right direction. So a couple more months, and I should finally be able to annex him. Alright, here we go. It's even now. Next month should do it. We'll gain the war exhaustion. Why not? I'm not too worried about that. Alright, there it is. And just at that moment, when I was about to be able to finally annex him, he goes and takes another one of my territories and screws up the whole thing. Alright, so we'll go deal with him, and that should do it. Look at you all marching around me. This is kind of the cat and mouse game you play. Alright, now, at long last, can I annex him? Why not? Now it's 131 negative. What the heck? Most of it is that they were making gains. Okay. So he was able to conquer that one little territory, and that screwed the whole thing up. So let's go hit his army. Get them out of here so they're no longer a concern. Now where are we? Alright, finally. Okay, we're going to send our demand. We have conquest. Casus Belli has been victorious. We have now conquered Allegheny, which is part of my glorious realm. And let's take a look. We got a whole bunch more options now. We can manage overextension. That costs some points, which we're going to go ahead and spend by making Allegheny a core. That's going to take some time. We're one step closer to uniting the halves of my realm. What I just need is I need to wait until certain native tribes trickle their way into these territories in between so I can hit them at that point. Alright, in the meantime, we've got some national decisions. I don't think we're going to do any of those. We can add a policy. Let's see what we've got available to us. Missionaries. Not really concerned because I don't have a religion. Not really any that I feel like I need to do at this point. That provincial unrest will go down in just a little while. We've got war exhaustion that we can reduce by spending some diplomatic points. It's nice that I've got all these points to spend and I don't have to worry about taking away from being able to advance technologies because I'm still 12 years ahead on all of these technologies. I couldn't develop them even if I wanted to at the moment. So I think that's about all I need to do right now. We can embrace legalism. That'll give me a nice little bonus to my stability cost multiplier. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm almost out of money. So let's take a look and see where things stand financially. Because all of that money I had is now gone because I had to build up my army. So, boy, let's see. Yeah, because my army's bigger, what I need to do at this point is I just need to we're going to just decrease the maintenance on the army, which is not something I want to do if I'm at war, but while I'm at peace is not a big deal. But this keeps me from from having to disband some of my units. I can just keep the maintenance low and then jack it up if I go to war with anybody. Alright, so I think things have calmed down a little bit here in October of 121. And let's go ahead and spend some military power. I can't do that there yet because they're not a core. So we'll boost up the infrastructure in that territory. Iroquois is my new rival. I didn't really want them to be a rival, but I guess I don't have a choice. Looks like my army's better than theirs, so that helps. Alright, now I don't plan on going to war with you, Iroquois. Not really in the cards at the moment. Alright, we're good for now, I think. Alright, we're into March of 124, and it's election time, and I think since our Republican tradition is at 92, we can keep the current ruler for one more term without suffering too much because of it. Just want to look real quick at my prestige, which continues not to grow. We've gained a core province on Allegheny. Excellent, so that helps. Let's go ahead and take a look at Allegheny for a moment. They are Huron culture. I just want to take a look at my culture overview at this point. Susquehannock and Huron are both the non-accepted cultures at the moment. All right, unhappiness among the peasantry, conflicts and protests over taxes, landlord cruelty, expropriation, serfdom, and customs policies have become quite frequent. If we don't manage to solve the problem soon, the consequences could be dire. All right, anything I can do to gain prestige? Yes, I was just talking about that because I have this mission to gain prestige, but it's next to impossible to gain any right now. So my prestige is up to 27. I need to hit 50 to complete that mission. I can make a state. Okay. So by switching Lake Champlain from a territory to a state, let's take a look. So that basically has to do with administration. Making it into a state will cost us very little in maintenance every month, while it will increase our income by a lot more. So obviously, that's a no-brainer. Now, some of my provinces lack cores. We're going to make Allegheny a core. I thought I just did that, but probably because it's a state now, I have to redo that. Let's boost our stability. And I don't think we need to worry about these separatists too much right now. I'm allowed to have up to 8 states. I've only got 3. Let's look at the numbers here. They're 1, 1, and 2. So let's improve the military power because that's where I've got a lot to spend right now. I should be getting a little closer on technologies. Let's see. I'll need 1,128, but I think that's still above my max. But we're only 8 years away now, so we get a little closer, maybe like 3 or 4 years out, and I might be able to go ahead and improve those technologies. The Iroquois seem like they're up to no good, like they might be working toward war. I'm not going to do anything to rile them up right now, so I'm not going to create a spy network or anything like that. Improve things as best I could with the Powhatan, who are my allies. There's really not a lot else I can do with them right now. Maybe this is the place to go for my next growth. So let's go ahead and start building a spy network there. Still lots of military power. Now that we're into 126, let's see, we're 7 years out now, and we only need 1,064. So I'm going to go ahead and let that just kind of keep cooking. Because I'm at the place now where I can actually improve my military technology once we get another maybe year or two into this. Okay, it's February 128. We're going to improve our military technology. We have developed the broadsword. So with that said, I think now, while we're at 86 in Republican tradition, I think we can go one more time with the current ruler. That'll decrease it by 10, but we'll make some of that back. But I think we'll probably need to consider a switch after this one. Next up is going to be diplomatic technology. We're going to get road building, which right now we need 904, so it looks like we're still about 5 years out. So right about probably the time that the technology no longer has an ahead of time bonus or penalty, we'll be able to do that. I'm going to lose another 5 Republican tradition here because I don't want to lose any more prestige. So I'm down to 71. I definitely need to switch rulers the next time. I lose 1 prestige a year, and I don't really have anything that I can gain it with other than going to war. So let's see where we're at down here. We're not quite at the place that we need to be. We need to be at 20 to be able to fabricate a claim on this territory. Who are their allies? Mohican. Where are they? Of course, they're all the way up there. Because everybody's smartly making allies with countries that are not near them to make it a little harder to conquer them. Okay, so we're into July of 130 now. Just about to hit the point where we're going to be able to research a new diplomatic technology, road building, which improves my colonial range, but I'm not really building colonies right now. So, all right, we're going to impose a new tariff. It's going to gain some mercantilism. And then we're going to hit road building here in just a second. That doesn't really do a lot for me, but it's the next step in technology, so we're going to do it. Also gives me better trade efficiency, and decreases yearly corruption. So those are helpful. You can see I don't really have the option to send colonists right now because I don't have any colonists to send. That'll be something that'll happen with time. My decision I have to make at this point, though, concerns whether or not to go after this territory, and I think that I will. But of course, it means going to war, and war means spending money that I don't necessarily have right now. So if I improve my army maintenance all the way, I'm already at a negative balance. Excuse me, which is kind of a problem. I may find myself needing to take out a loan. So I think I'm going to hold off for now until I can build up a little bit more finances, and then I'll worry about going after them. I think I have some other concerns at the moment first. So I don't want to spend administrative power on improving my base tax because I'm going to want to spend that on technology here in just a minute. A couple of more months, actually. That's going to get animal husbandry, which let's see what that'll do. Not sure it does much of anything, really. But it's the next step, and we need to do it. So, and after that, I'm going to take a look and see kind of where the world stands as far as how I stack up against some of the other powers of the world in terms of technology and other things. So we'll look at the books here in a minute after we do this. Okay, so it's going to improve production efficiency, again decrease yearly corruption. So we'll do that, and now we're once again back to about 25 years ahead of time. So we're going to start pouring those points back into my country. So let's go military power right there. And then we'll kind of take a break and look at what's going on in the rest of the world and then wrap up this episode, I think. Okay, so before we wrap up this episode, let's just kind of look through the ledger a little bit here, and we can see that a lot of the Aryan nations in the region where I am, the income, I'm right up there near the top with an income of 4. I have 0 inflation, which is nice. I don't have much money in the treasury compared to some of these other nations, including the Iroquois, who have really stored up their money well. Developmentally, I am the number one power in the region. You can see that this really is only looking at kind of the western ones, the ones that I have discovered. You can look on the mini-map if you can see it. I don't know if I'm in the way or not. But on the mini-map down to the right, it's really just North America that I'm able to see, which is really all I'm worried about right now. So developmentally, I'm number 1. I have the most manpower. Technology, looks like pretty much everybody's the same, and that makes sense just because of the penalty for being so far advanced. Everybody's kind of in the same place when it comes to technology. So now this allows us score-wise to see everybody. And the overall score, you can see that I'm not anywhere near the top. I still have 0 because I don't really have anything in points there. So we'll skip through that for now. Technologies, again, nobody's really above 6 just because that's the best that you can do right now. Religions, Totemist is the number 1 religion right now. We'll start to see some of these other ones change over time. Not a whole lot to look at here with some things. Province development. You can see I have the top province with Delaware, but then there's actually kind of a break before you get to some of my other provinces that are ahead. So this might be a good place to look in terms of thinking about who I want to go after based on how well developed their provinces are already. But you can do that on the main screen too and look at those. Possible colonies, that's not really an issue right now. Advisors, not really something I'm concerned about. My previous rulers, obviously mine change a lot just because of the nature of being a republic. I do have the largest army in North America. Zapotec and Calakmul are second and third. My force limit's actually 11, so that may be part of why I'm spending so much. I may need to consider dropping part of my army down. In fact, we'll go ahead and do that here. So let's disband a couple of these units. And that'll save me money too. And you know, when the time comes, we can come back and revisit that. All right. There we go. So that's gonna improve the money that I spend. You know, now I'm making 2. Even if I max it out, I'm still making 1.5. So that was a big deal. I should have caught that sooner. That being over my force limit was really costing me. So problem solved there. Oh, not the menu. We want the ledger. Navy, not even on my radar screen. Worrying about a Navy right now. Income comparison. Again, we know overall that I'm kind of one of the top when it comes to income right now. And that's just a chart kind of showing my own nation and where things are. Everything's a core. I got a nice balance of producing fish, fur, naval supplies, and tobacco. I do have a little bit of totemists. The rest are mostly irreligious. Most are accepted culture. Huron's the only one that's not accepted right now. We'll have to deal with that at some point. All right, so that'll pretty much wrap this episode up. We'll stop right there for now. Probably only do 1 or 2 episodes a week on this one at most, but as it seems like there's more interest, I'll probably play it more. Right now, more interest seems to be on some of my other games. So thanks for watching. I'd welcome your comments, your questions, your observations, your criticisms. Use the comment section below for that. If you hit that thumbs up, that lets me know that you enjoyed this and you want to see more. And until next time, thanks for watching.